Now you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the objective, course objectives and course definitions, we kind of discussed that. So what are there in your course is, trying to have this uh, clear concept about organization. The first thing that we will be doing is try to understand what an organization is. And so whenever there is an organization is always formed to achieve certain goal, as we defined a common goal, set of goals. And whenever it's an organization, there is a goal. So while talking about the organization goals, then we should be, uh, seeing what kind of what different kinds of goals that we can have in the organization, and how to formulate those goals, how to set those goals, and what are the processes and approaches that we take up to formulate goal. You are organizing, to obtain certain goal. भने त्यो गोल चाहिँ नि कसरी formulate गर्ने भन्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ नि we'll try to see that in the very first unit of your uh, course. Then in the unit 2, we will now enter into the basic fundamental things about management, where we try to define what management and what are the characteristics of management, what are the different functions that are there in the management, and we'll talk about what are the different kinds of managers, and managers have to have different skills, and what are the different roles that they play in the organization. Bhanne kura we will cover in the second unit. And the third unit is about the evolution of management. There are different theorists and there are different scientists who have come up with different principles and approaches of managing. They came up with different theories. So we'll talk about these evolution from the very beginning. F.W. Taylor ko scientific management dekhin liera, we'll talk about the principles of management and the bureaucratic kind of organization. So these are the different approaches and different theories that are there in the management. त्यो कुरा is basically covered in unit 3, right? And the fourth unit deals with the environment. As an organization will have two basic kinds of environments. One is your internal environment. So how the environment is within the organization, internal environment huncha bhane, organizations, they exist also, they also will have a general environment, which is their external environment. Okay, so we'll talk about those general environment, like their political environment matters, your economic environment kasto cha, and your technology co environment, or we'll deal with those things in the environmental context of management. Okay, then in the fifth unit, you have two very important functions of management, that is planning and decision making. So planning gardakeri chahi ni how you make plans for your organization. What are the the course of action? So the planning is all about what are the courses of action that you will take to achieve your goal. That is your planning. The planning gardakeri what are the different approaches that we have to do? What are the different analysis that we have to do prior to formulating these plans for your organization? Then there is another one which is called the decision making. Decision making is a very, very crucial function within the organization. So whenever you have different choices, then you have to make decisions. While making decisions, uh, you might be sometimes using your mathematical models for decision making, but most of the times you have to have your very subjective judgment while making the decision making. So कसरी decision गर्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ we'll cover that in the fifth unit. Now sixth unit includes the organization structures and the task relationship. So what are the different kinds of organizations that we can have, the structures with the perspective of structures. So there might be, the centralized organization, decentralized organization. There might be, the matrix kind of organization, and the functional departmentalization might be there. So what are the different organizational structures that are there, and why do we have one kind of a structures over another kind of organization structures? We'll deal with that in the sixth unit, which is the organizing function. Now, seventh will cover leadership. Leadership means leading, you know, it's about inspiring or motivating people, how you make them work in the certain context that you have. And it also covers one of the aspects which is very important aspects in management, that is the conflict. As you are interacting, as we are working in groups, as people are working in the organization, there are many circumstances, there are many situations where these conflicts arise. And conflicts are something which are naturally there in the organization, and conflicts are sometimes useful for the organization. There have to be conflicts in the organization for organization to remain vibrant. Whereas, over conflicts or excessive conflicts will harm the performance of organization. So that's why conflict management becomes important, and that is also covered in this unit 7. Now, talking about motivations to keep the people excited to work for your organization. Motivation is the inner urge or the inner drive that the people have to achieve the goal. So you always have to be, always have to make sure that your people are motivated, so that they work towards achieving the goal. So there are different principles and different theories behind the motivations, which we will cover in unit 8. And as I have been telling you from the very beginning of the class, that it's all about interaction among the people in the organization. Communication is one of the very important skills that the people in organization have to have. So whatever message you are trying to give has to be interpreted in the same way by the receiver. I know. And so there are different hierarchies in the organizations, how your communication flows in the organizations, and how the communication, the things that you wanted to convey, become distorted. So how your communication has to be made effective. We'll cover that in unit 9. Unit 10 is about control. So you have plan. It's not necessary that you have a plan and everything goes as planned. So there has to be certain controlling mechanisms. There are certain controlling things that you have to get the things under control as you have planned. So that is the controlling. So deals with, for example, you wanted to have certain quality and you are trying to monitor the quality that you are producing and to make sure that if it conforms to your design or not. So that is one of the example of control that we will be doing in the organization. The third one is the global context. As now that the things have become very global. We are not only concerned about our local context, so there are the global aspects become very important. So there are international marketing and multinational businesses. So we'll have to see how if your business operates in a global context, what are the things that become important for you to understand while you do this globalized business or international business. And the third thing is it's the context of Nepal. It's how the management trains exist, what kind of management trains exist in Nepal, and the different industrial sector, particularly with respect to Nepal, we'll discuss in the unit 12. So this is how your course is structured, and we'll follow this course as it is. And the mode of